Welcome everybody to our CATIA design talk today, special on World Industrial Design Day. Our guests today are Asensio, Vice President Design Innovation for Dassault Systèmes, and Patrick Jouin, who heads up two consultancies. One is Jouin Mancoux and the other one is Patrick Jouin ID. So welcome. And we're here to talk about ethics and your latest project, Ta.tamu. So first question, Patrick, for you. Does it make sense for you to talk about Ta.tamu in the context of ethics? Of course, you may have to introduce Ta.tamu to us first.
Of course, I think it's, I would say, the base, our quest. We work on Ta.tamu. Ta.tamu is it's a project. Could say it's a chair, but it's much more than a chair. The chair was just to take an object, which is a simple object we all use on Earth every day. And I would say the idea was to use as less material as possible when we fabricate a chair or an object. And I think it's very based on this an ethical idea. As a designer, now we have, I would say, the possibility to use technology, science, to, when we design something, to design it so well, I would say, so well is maybe too pretentious, but to design it as much as we can, and to use just the exact quantity of material we need for this object. So when we design something, we take to nature, we use as not so much energy, just the right quantity of energy, and so we design something. This is a part of the chair. It's a part of the
hinges
and the one leg. And you can see there is not so much material like nature. You know, when you see a bone, you understand that nature is clever and will be conscious of the energy it needs to make the structure, and just to be minimal. And so when we design something, very often there is too much material, and it's driving me crazy, because material, and especially here we have a polymer, it's very precious. We should not use too much. We have to be reasonable, and now we can do it. And it was our quest with this project together. It was to see where at the end we will be in this project. You can see here we have something which is also so beautiful, and it's not designed by me. It's designed by the computer, by the science, by the intelligence, to be here, to create a structure which is so close to what nature will do. And I think it is, now we have the technology. I think it is, we need now, every time we design something, we need to evaluate the quantity of material we use. We can't now just do something and it's heavy and it's aesthetically nice. Yes, okay. No, it has to be minimal in terms of material.
But for you, that's not new, because when we look at your work in the past for industrial design, for furniture design, but also the research exploratory work you've done that is now, for instance, at MoMA, we see this lightness, we see this economy of material, we see good, simple, honest shapes. So that's something that you've done ever since the beginning of your career?
No, it's not but it's like a quest. But before, it was totally intuitive. So I didn't know if it was right. Now I can be really precise, and I can. It's based on science, not based on intuition. They can be close because, of course, we have an understanding as designer of material. We know when it will break, but sometimes our intuition are wrong. And here, with this new technology, we can go to the limit of resistance, and we can go further. We can really be super, I would say, to have a high performance with the material. And so now I feel at ease when I design something, that I can really trust science to help me to do the best for, I would say, for all of us.
Thank you, Patrick. So, Anne, as VP Design Innovation at Dassault Systèmes, as WDO member and former board member, how do you look at Patrick's discourse on Ta.tamu and ethics and technology with the example that we have in front of us?
Well, first of all, Patrick and I are basically sharing very much the same value when it comes to basically design not only aesthetic product, but also to do it ethically. Clearly, if I would like to bounce on some of what Patrick, you said, we basically met. I like your idea where you say, I was doing it intuitively, and then now I can do it precisely with science. And that's the way we basically decided this long journey starting in 2019, where we presented in Design Age of Experience. And some of the things that we do within the design studio, I'm an automotive designer. Using CATIA for doing very complex cars in a very precise way was my world. And when I came back and worked and took this position and working with CATIA, I saw Patrick presenting this journey inside an object that was already leveraging intuitively the density of a bone, so to make the lighter as possible object, and at the same time minimizing the usage of materials, but doing it intuitively. I called him and I say, why don't we do it for real? Because to me, aesthetic and ethic for designers come to play as a very interwoven proposition. And doing and looking at something aesthetic, they are always an underlying of a purpose that may be ethic. And what the science does is, for designers, for the one who will be listening to us, science is not evil. Ethic is often being basically carry on this critical discourse on technology may be evil, they get us away from our humanity and capability of sensible and imaginative capabilities. But what we believe within the studio, and that's why this collaboration with Patrick was so critical, was to basically question exactly what is a dialogue that we as designers need to have with technology to keep this equilibrium that nature basically deliver, works around regenerative products, meaning that, well, the planet is finite, it's the end of domination of taking and extracting materials, but we need to work with our artificial materials that we produce in quantity and how we can manage to get product, chairs, for all over the world, for everyone, but in a manner that we are leveraging the best of technology, used in very complex industries, but at the stage and at the level of a designer that could leverage it and do wonderful product like Ta.tamu. So I'm so excited. I'm passionate about this. First, the relationship with Patrick is a very long-lasting one. It's built on trust because it is not easy for designers, I believe, to embrace technology because it's a shift in the way we do things. But when designers are really aiming at ethical behaviors and delivering ethical proposition for the world and for people, then technology can be very meaningful. So that's really the journey. We have a team within the design studio. We work collaboratively with Patrick Jouin's team it was a very nice moment of human-to-human relationship. It's also a very ethical part. And technology were there to enable this wonderful project.
Thank you. Yes, I heard the words ethics and aesthetics. I was thinking about science and conscience. And now, of course, we have two teams and we have collaborations, which is very much needed. So what's your take, both of you, on what comes next?
What comes next? For us, there is a before and after this project, because before it was like a dream, or it was a concept, but now it's reality. We have this tool and this new way to design objects. So now I will use it for all our new project. It's because I would say before I needed the calculation from engineer when we were designing something, maybe something big, something we will put outside that should resist to the wind or to mechanical load. When we were designing a simple object like a chair, we were never using calculation. We were doing a prototype, put it in a torture machine and see how it will resist to load and to usage. And it was like this. It was an iterative science or way to do things. Now I know I can be much more efficient, even in a very small object. And I know that everything we do on our very little scale of designer, but addition with all the designer in the world, we can have an impact on everything we do. And so when we have this possibility with a software or the help of the other engineer to design and produce objects with as less material as possible, also to have objects which are made with one material, I think it's crazy that this chair we are producing with hinges, with a complex structure, is made of one material, no paint, no screw, nothing, just one material. So we can crush it after and do something else with it forever. I think this is also the future. To answer your question,
I will build up on this. Typically, it is true. People may look at this as, oh, it's just a chair. But the ripple effect of such a chair, if you are understanding what is underlying behind the chair, the doing by learning, how is changing entirely the perception of the world in the way we design as designers, and also our knowledge. That means what kind of knowledge we need to pull from to actually transform the way we are producing, because Dassault Systèmes and the company I work with and CATIA, what we are looking at is to try to see if we can make a regenerative world. That means that can the technology not just being a means for more consumerism, but actually being and giving the means to designers everywhere in the world, as Patrick says, to be enabled to actually make a proposition that will be ethical and useful for many. So that's the aim of our company. And the journey we did with Patrick is excellent. It's not just looking at purely make the performance of a beautiful chair. It's really to actually pave the way we will be basically designing in the future with fewer material, maybe just entirely recycled material, technology of fabrication and assembly that will get rid of all of the big shop floor and go, because this chair has been printed is just one print. It's also a performance from a fabrication standpoint. And then he helps us to provide through this example, and we are doing it with many other designers also to test on other avenue, where basically give a chance for the industry to change, to propose a value proposition. I want to use the term virtual twin. It's a term we use a lot, and also 3D experience universe, like we call 3D universe. Basically, today, the technology changed really the perception we have of the world. We used to only look at the physical. Today, virtual is a total new place for us to imagine how we will be living, how we will be interacting, how we will be producing, and these are questions that we are asking to ourselves. So Ta.tamu, it's basically a chair that comes from the future. It's a chair that just gives us an optimistic view when human is at the center, when we are looking at humanity as the aim and what we want to impact, we may change the way we design. And it takes courage. Patrick is a very courageous, very innovative designer. He started with the MoMA, with the chair that basically paved the way to where we are today, and it's not finished. We will be continuing because this is just a starting point. And that's really what I would like to convey.
Thank you very much, Anne. Thank you very much, Patrick. So even though this is the starting point, I would say that this actually, ladies and gentlemen, concludes today's CATIA Design Talk. Stay tuned, of course, as we will soon be deep diving into the use of Dassault Systèmes and CATIA solutions for the creation of Ta.tamu. And in the meantime today, let's have a great World Industrial Design Day. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Great Industrial Design Day to all of you.
Bye-bye.